tonight. For more on the former president's campaign stop today in the race for the White House, let's go to our political panel. Joining us now is Marc Caputo, national political reporter for The Messenger, and NewsNation political editor Chris Stirewalt. I'm going to get to the Trump campaign stop in a second, but first I want to start with former Vice President Mike Pence. He spent an entire day today testifying before a federal grand jury for Special Prosecutor Jack Smith. Chris, this is, bringing back to the center this investigation, and of course reminding everybody that we could get news on whether or not Jack Smith and the Justice Department and Merrick Garland will indict former President Trump on both the insurrection on January 6th and his obstruction of documents case down in Florida.
Yeah, and also in New York today, there's testimony in a case, a woman who says that Donald Trump raped her in the 1990s that is under trial now. For Republicans, there's a weird effect that happens when Trump gets in trouble. First, they rally around. And I think we saw in polls a bump in Trump's polling. It gets better when he is perceived as being under attack from Democrats or under attack from the Biden administration. There's a rally around the Trump effect. And then people think about, do we want to do this for the next year and a half of have to keep talking about the various legal straits that Donald Trump finds himself in? Is this what's necessary? And lastly, Republicans still haven't really addressed the question of January 6th. They haven't really addressed the question of Donald Trump trying to steal a second term. And that all is yet to be unpacked and work that'll have to be done over the next 10 months.
Yeah. I'm curious, Marc, do you think we did see that rallying around after Trump was indicted in New York City by the Manhattan District Attorney? Do you think that rallying around will continue if he's indicted on the other three investigations underway, all of which are political in nature or at the very nature of our democracy?
Yeah, that might be the ball game, right? Like what we saw so far is there's kind of a direct relationship between legal troubles for Trump and the rallying around Trump by the Republican base. And the question is does that graph keep going up that way, or is there kind of a parabola where the troubles get so great that eventually his support ticks down?
Right.
I don't think any of us really know that. It partly is the devil in the details. The problem with Alvin Bragg's case in New York is there are a lot of questions that a lot of legal experts, including some liberals, say, boy, I don't know about this. I mean, it's one of those kind of wait and see moments. Now, the rest of the field and potential field, I'm going to include Governor DeSantis there, doesn't really know how to deal with this, because the problem is, that, our point as we're discussing is that the Republican base rallies around him, but at the same time there is this kind of lack of ease, and they don't want to look like they're constantly cheering and supporting Trump, but at the same time they feel they can't quite attack him over it.
Yeah.
So they're in this sort of limbo land.
Marc, I'm curious. Trump has obviously zinged DeSantis on his battle with Disney, saying that the entertainment giant is destroying him. I wouldn't go that far, but he's not the only one who's criticizing this. Nikki Haley invited Disney World to South Carolina last night. Even local GOP lawmakers in Florida are backing away. One of them said today, telling the Wall Street Journal, this all looks like a personal vendetta. Is this backfiring on him?
Well, I don't really see evidence of that in polling yet. I think Ipsos recently did a survey that generally found that Republican voters, a plurality of them, said that they were more likely to support Ron DeSantis in this fight against Disney. One of the problems that Disney has gotten into kind of politically is that among Republicans, Disney is now being identified as too adjacent, too connected to the Democratic Party.
Right.
So when it becomes kind of a binary choice of DeSantis versus Disney, well, voters are going to choose DeSantis. Now, DeSantis's broader problem is some of these echoes and some of these whispers you're hearing about even in Tallahassee from Republicans, or attacks from other Republicans, namely Donald Trump, is that will DeSantis be able to kind of weather this question going forward and actually take on Trump, or just look like he's fighting Disney?
All right. Well, to be continued. Marc and Chris, thank you both for coming on the show tonight. Hope you'll be back again. I'm sure we have a lot to discuss in the future in the coming days.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.